Hello everyone, welcome back to the IDRiM podcast. And in this week's podcast, we will have another ADN collaborations, especially for promoting their global campaign on the International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths, or IAD for AD. In the prior episodes, we already explored what is this campaigns with their founders, Nivedita and Hideyuki. And now, from this episode onward, we will explore one of their key figures in many part of different worlds, highlighting their achievement and their events for this particular global campaign. Now, today with me is Vishal Pathak. He is one of the ADN members that operating in Ahmedabad, India, highlighting the Heatwave case for this global campaign. Now, Vishal, can you explain briefly yourself and your role at ADN, and particularly your plan for the celebrating the global campaign this year?
Thank you. First of all, I really would like to thank you to IDRiM and ADN for hosting this conversation. This is really a valuable platform to spread for the intention that we are doing. I am Vishal Pathak, and I'm working with All India Disaster Mitigation Institute based in Ahmedabad, India. And AIDMI is a member of Avoidable Death Network since its inception. And within ADN member, we have identified special key thematic areas to focus, to promote, to strengthen for avoidable deaths. And one of that is extreme heat. And it is really very much, avoidable. And AIDMI have this, commitment to work on extreme heat and build its resilience, particularly while working with vulnerable population. So that's what we are doing, and this is one of very strong common area with ADN we have at AIDMI. So that is the one point. Regarding IAD for AD, which is International Awareness Day for Avoidable Death, each and every theme point of view, we are celebrating our preparedness measures, preventing measures with vulnerable populations, but not only vulnerable, but I must say contributors who are working on this area. They are very much active, and they are the real one who taking action on the ground directly. So with them, we are going to have this celebration of IAD for AD through different ways, capturing their experience, having direct interaction, building awareness, also exchanging ideas, what went well, how, and this is the best platform to hear their experience and learn from them. So that is what we are going to do and celebrate IAD for AD in upcoming time. It is not just one day, but it is for us, it is ongoing process, and very much linking with one to another, another to another, like that way. Thank you.
Thank you for the introductions, and as you mentioned that you have commitment for the extreme heat, especially in the Ahmedabad in your area, and it's particularly for the case for vulnerable populations. As you mentioned, the death from the extreme heat is totally avoidable. What kind of actions that you have been done to actually make people aware that you can avoid the death from this? Do you have any examples? What kind of activities you already did in the past that make people knows this kind of thing and towards more resilient society?
Yes, and in fact, it is not just we only. There are many stakeholders, and it is based on the past efforts, joint efforts, collaborative efforts. I must say some background that Ahmedabad is part of this global conversation, not because it is the only reason is being hottest city, but it is also because local government and institution here choose to act early, which is very much important to avoid any death. Long before extreme heat become a global headlines, municipal authorities, health systems, disaster management institutions recognize this, that heat is a public risk, not just a weather condition. So I must say here that it is not just we at AIDMI, or it is not just during and for IID4AD, but it is really very much collaborative efforts and many other stakeholders, particularly Ahmedabad, the municipal corporation and local bodies, who recognize this much early and prepared very unique actions. In a concrete way, I can say the heat action plan that has been prepared in Ahmedabad, which is, I think, first across South Asia, not only in India, but across South Asia. So that is, really very much. Um, so it is about learning from effort, strengthening what already exists, and sharing the learning globally through the global campaign on avoidable deaths. And here the ADN slogan for IID4AD 2026 capture this spirit very well, that avoidable deaths are shaped by choices made in advance, not by fate. And Ahmedabad shows that those choices are possible. So it is just, showcasing the efforts in terms of specific actions, what we have been doing. Number one and strong point is awareness, with whom it is, very much important, at risk population. And they are not just vulnerable, but they are also really, pioneer in terms of adaptation. They are also, learning very actively, and they are the first responder to any disaster, including extreme heat, much before than it is announced, we can say, because they are facing this on the ground, dealing with it, not only during afternoon hours, but also, extended evening or sometime even in nights. Earlier, it was like extreme heat days, but now we see since last couple of years, it is like extreme heat weeks, and where night temperature also increase. So here in this situation, we have to take much, and here it is very much, you know, need to recognize that heat is predictable. Uh, and in the case of India, we have this fortunately IMD, which who provides 7 days forecast of extreme heat, and this is the really, very much opportunity to convert this as an anticipatory action. So that's what we also, promoting and strengthening, that how this forecast reaching to the right people and on time, and they have this access, but on the other side, they also understand this and taking action. And for that point of view, ongoing basis, we are spreading this forecast with local population, and we identified, population at risk. For example, small businesses. um, Developing countries like India and many other across South Asia and Asia, Pacific Asia, we found that our economy is very much contributed, national GDP is very much contributed by these small businesses, almost like 35 to 40%. Now, you know, protecting them against extreme heat is very much important. And if we want to protect them, they also need to understand that what is the risk, where, how, what can be done. Some aspect they are doing by themselves, some aspect they require, joint efforts. So that's what we are doing. We do this awareness and capacity building in activities with them. Sometimes it is training sessions, sometimes it is co-creation, like co-creation of knowledge, listening them, and preparing plan with them. There are several other such population, for example, transportation workers who are also very much highly exposed to this extreme heat. So we are also working with them, building their understanding of extreme heat, and also learning with them that what they are doing and what can be more done before extreme heat announced. So it is very much, identifying vulnerable groups known in advance is very much important part of this process. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm really happy to hear it's basically not only involvement for the concerns communities, but also the government actually realize the danger of extreme heats, and basically you go hand in hand with them to actually protect the vulnerable population for extreme heats. That's wonderful news, because like in many part of the world, government usually neglect. But in here, what you're highlighting, it's basically government also has role, and how the ADN is strengthening the roles between these stakeholders, and protect vulnerable people in order to avoid the deaths from extreme heat. Now, given the roles of these ADNs, and particularly this year's global campaign, is there any particular objective that you want to achieve by having this campaign this year? And as particularly to which kind of populations, and what kind of achievable goals that perhaps you want to see in this year's?
Oh, yes. We particularly going to focus more with two audience. One is small businesses led by women-led small businesses, and it is very big, wide range of small businesses. Some are artisans, some are garment product sellers, some are fruit and vegetable sellers, some are ready food packaging, and they are providing their services, and all those small businesses. Second audience is as I said, about the transportation workers. Maybe they are drivers, formal, informal in these businesses. They are very much exposed to this extreme heat. And this is the right time before month of April and May, when the temperature goes rise. And here in Ahmedabad, it goes sometime more than 45 during the summer period. And how we can have this discussion with them. And in terms of result, we are targeting that our expected result is number one, we know that they have access to early warning of extreme heat. What through this IAD for AD and with AD and at AIDMI, what we are doing is how this forecast they understand and use it in their day-to-day life. Sometimes it is simple, very simple about, purchasing new stock in their own small businesses. Are they considering upcoming forecast? If not, they start doing that. They have access to forecast in their mobile or in their social media or on the TV, radio way, or in the newspaper, and they understand that what it is meaning for my business, for my family, and for my livelihood. So that is what our expected result, and it is a 7-day, window forecast. So it is really, we don't need to wait until it is announced that this is extreme heat. It can be start before that, because temperature definitions may say that at the temperature of 45 degrees Celsius, but on the ground, maybe it is in many cases, not maybe, but in many cases, it is already more than 45 degree temperature. On the other side, through this capacity building and awareness activities, and with local bodies and with other institutions, with this local population, it can be really, disseminated very well. And it is not just disseminate, but person who receive, understand it and act it accordingly. So that's what our expected, particularly this time, this year in this IID4 AD, we are targeting about utilizing extreme heat forecast well in advance and in a more very much effective way. Thank you.
Okay, that's a very nice goal, and I believe that it will be achievable this year, especially giving more awareness to the vulnerable populations like sellers and the transportation workers. Now, as the last questions, uh, can you give us some words promoting your event to our global listeners that perhaps unaware of this thing, of extreme heat perhaps, or and how, if they are interested, uh, perhaps you can show how they can support your activities or ADN in particular.
Uh, Well, the way forward is not reinvention, but it is more about better last mile implementation. So I think it is not limited to Ahmedabad, but it is across like everywhere, wherever we have this heat issue. And I think it is expanding and reaching in each and every geography. Uh, so that is the one point that each of us are connected with this and we can utilize in this way. Um, One point I would like to encourage and promote that how if in your city, in your area, you have this extreme heat and is there what actions can be taken which have, very good impact. Please do share with ADN, with AIDMI, with this case station at Akasa that we have. We are working across 11 cities of India for with focus on this extreme heat. And so this is, of course, we are talking about Ahmedabad, but what my mean is that it can be done. And there are widespread such cases and can be done. Another one is a strong, interdepartmental coordination is very much required. So it is not just a CASA station, that case station, but it is like a uh, connected coordination also taking place. Routine use of forecast in decision making, it is also can be done by all of us in a more effective way. Now, how it can be done more with vulnerable population, and we really welcome any point, any comments, any inputs from researchers, from practitioners, from decision makers, and we're ready to have that, and we highly recommend to share those points with us.
Thank you again, Vishal, for sharing this wonderful case and the campaign for the AD4 AD. Hopefully, our listeners enjoy listening to you and got something new to bring home with them and be interested in helping or implement in this case the knowledge that they get in their own cities or supporting the ADN's campaign. So that's it, everyone. We will come back with more collaborations with ADN for the next podcast as well. So see you next time.